new day. Do not adjust your TVs. This is not Barbara Clifford. It is Emil Labaj. And Emil, it's spelled Labaj, but it's pronounced Labaj. Emil is owner of The Right Step Custom Orthotics and Footwear in Whitby. And so the first half of the show, I thought we would talk a little bit about his expertise. The second half of the show, we're actually going to talk a little bit about relationships. We're going from feet to love. I'm not sure, I don't really understand that connection. The love of feet. It's a little bit weird, but no, that's what we're going to do, and it's going to be terrific. In fact, the second half of the show, we have Melissa and Corinne from New Roots Therapy in Whitby as well. And we have a top 10 list for those two ladies, and Barb isn't here tonight. In fact, Barb won't be with us for a few weeks. That's the bad news. The good news for Barb is that she is in rehearsal. She will be starring in a play in Scarborough, at the Scarborough Theatre, called Waiting for the Parade. She is an actress, a stage actress, so I recommend anyone out there that's interested have a look at Scarborough Theatre and go and check out Barb. Emil, welcome.
Thank you, Matt.
Good to have you on board.
Thank you.
You are the orthotics man.
I am.
And the foot guy. So I thought what we would do, just starting right off with basics tonight, is, I'm sure quite a few folks at home know what orthotics are, but can you explain, from your point of view, what exactly are orthotics? What do they do? And yeah, please take it away.
Okay. Orthotics are, in a nutshell, a custom insole that allows you to maintain balance and distribution, and you can move it around from shoe to shoe. Okay. And what the two major functions they perform is, the first is they redistribute weight. So on the sole of your feet, if there's any uneven pressures, good custom orthotics will spread that weight out and make everything nice and even to eliminate any pressure points.
So there is a bigger picture involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And the second thing they do is they hold and maintain a neutral position so that everything really from the ground up is held in a nice position, and we can try to eliminate movement as best possible.
Okay, now I know you brought some orthotics with you. It might not be a bad idea to explain the difference to people. What's the difference between these four?
I would.
And how do they help? I mean,
sure. Well, a lot of manufacturers out there use a rigid plastic material. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a...
Come here. I heard it.
A hard plastic material called polypropylene. The advantage of that is it's very supportive and it lasts a long time. The disadvantage is it's a very hard material, and a lot of people aren't very comfortable with holding your foot in such a rigid position for such a long period of time. The foot has to naturally flex in order to maintain foot dynamics.
So how would someone know if they need orthotics? And what percentage of the population actually need orthotics over the course of a lifetime? Sometimes I think we all do, but it's...
Well, the good thing is orthotics actually will help you for things now. If you come with an issue, we can help you. They're also very proactive in a preventative approach to aging, and I often equate orthotics to a car. If you're driving your vehicle and the wheels are perfectly balanced and nicely aligned, then the car runs smoothly and, you know, the parts wear out minimally. But as soon as the wheels become misaligned, well, that's when the car starts to run a little rough and parts start to wear out a lot quicker.
Got it, okay. So one of the things that comes to my mind is, you know, I go into the drugstores, I go into, you know, some of these box stores out there, and I see orthotics, I see them on the racks, I see them on the shelves. They seem very inexpensive, and I sometimes wonder, I remember I had an issue, and I actually came to Emil, and in fact, I never leave home without his orthotics. It's been 2 years now, and I went from tremendous pain, plantar fasciitis, I think it was, right? Tremendous pain. I remember walking in, I think I was in Washington, and you know, that's a city where you need to walk. The pain was outrageous, and you really helped. Where was I going? I had a specific question.
You're talking about the drugstore orthotics.
Yes. What's the difference between what you offer and what I could find at my local drugstore?
The drugstore orthotics are made for the masses, so they're a very general approach to support in certain areas. And
well, okay. Sorry.
Anyway, they're made for the mouses.
They're talking to me from the
Right,
control room.
no worries. And they will do an adequate job. They're not ideal because everybody's foot is different, everybody's foot is unique, has different weight distributions, and that's really what we look at when we customize things for people.
So you take a mold.
Absolutely, we do.
How does that work?
Well, I like that idea. There's really 5 ways to do orthotics. There is a computer scan, which takes a nice 2-dimensional picture, but the disadvantage of that is everything's 3-dimensional, and the 3rd dimension is interpolated, or the computer kind of guesses at the depth based on pressure points, and in my opinion it's not extremely accurate. There's another method where some pins come up onto the foot and show some contours, and the orthotic is made from that point, but again there's not enough pins to keep a really good solid impression, and it also does the foot in a rest position, which isn't always the most ideal. There's resins, there's plaster casting, and then there's biofoam, which is the method I generally use.
Now I do want to remind our viewers that phone lines are open. Our number is 1-888-ROGERS-8, so please don't hesitate if you have any questions regarding not just, and this isn't just about the feet, is it?
No,
this is,
it's the big picture.
Yeah, tell me oh, you know what, we actually have a caller, and I believe, is it James or Jane? Jane from Bowmanville. Jane, do you have a question? Welcome to the program, Jane. Where is she? Oh, Jane. Hi, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm so glad I got you.
Me too.
So, I have a question.
Great.
I have flat feet, and it's because I have a lot of back problems.
Flat feet.
How do I fix that?
Well, there's 3 basic types of feet. There's the normal foot, there's the supinated foot, which is a very high arch, and then there's the flat foot. Arches serve 2 major purposes. One is to absorb shock, and the second is to hold and maintain a neutral positioning. So if you have a really low arch, that neutral positioning is really, it's not being held. So everything generally will tilt inward. Your ankles will drop down. Your knees will start to move side to side.
So what would be the first thing Jane would do?
Well, you need
give her some advice. She's right there.
Well, flat feet. The unfortunate thing is there's really not a lot you can do to build up your arches. The thing that needs to be done is to get a custom orthotic, and I'm not trying to steer you in that direction, but they do help so much for people with flat feet. Just to hold and maintain a neutral position, because the arches are lacking in addressing that issue. And when things are neutral, they work the best. So.
Well, Jane, that's something you can certainly consider as a custom orthotics. We'll have Emil's information up on the screen, and he's at the Right Step Orthotics, custom orthotics in Whitby. Do you have any other thoughts for Jane? If not, Jane?
Yes?
Thank you for your call, Jane.
Thank you so
That's terrific. Thank you for the call. I appreciate that.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So how common would that be? Someone calling you up and saying, I have flat feet, or I have children with flat feet, or...
Well, I see it very, very common in, I would say, a certain numbers of the population, obviously, and people with flat feet, if they generally won't find certain things are happening until they reach later in life. Because at that point they've got so much movement in all their joints and hips and ankles. Everything's really been put to the test for years and years that often knee pain, hip pain is usually the result of that over a period of time.
Let me ask you this. This is something that I hear about, and I know I'm a victim of this, if you want to call it that, is length of legs. There being a difference, whether it's an inch, eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch. Number one, how common is that, and how can you help with those of us who have that differential, that discrepancy?
The average person, everyone has a differential.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
There's got to be someone that's perfect.
Well, it's very close to
gotta be.
perfect. I had one young man.
You are close to perfect.
Well,
What? Sorry, I missed that.
no, I had one young man. He's very close. It was hard to determine which leg was longer, but he was very, very close.
Okay.
The average person is 2 to 4 millimeters, which it's a very small amount. And
You know what, Emil? I'm going to stop you because we do have a quick call. Who's on the line? We have Lucy on the line. Lucy, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My question is to do with the flat feet. I have a grandson who's just turned 4 years old, and I'm wondering with orthotics, of course he's growing so quickly at this age, I guess orthotics wouldn't really be the way to go. What would you do instead? Or would you do anything at this point in time?
That's a great question.
Yeah, good question, Lucy. What I can suggest is if you have your grandson face you with his back to you in bare feet and shorts, just have a quick look at him from the back. And you know your Achilles tendons down by the ankle?
Yes.
Just have a look at the direction they're in. If they're fairly straight up and down, then your grandson's arches are doing the job and maintaining a nice neutral. But some children's weight development exceeds their muscular development, and the arches often sag to a point where everything drops in, their ankle starts to drop to the ground, and their knees start to bow inward. And the difficulty with children is their bones are so soft that if that position is maintained for too long a period of time, they may result in bow legs, you know, so it's not a bad idea to just have a quick look at him and see how bad his situation is in regard to the Achilles, how straight up and down they are.
So are you saying if it is one of the worst type situations, then orthotics are the way that you would go? You would recommend orthotics even in a child that age?
Yes, absolutely, because you want to hold and maintain a nice neutral positioning while they're developing. So that's really a good way to help them do that.
Emil, thank you. Lucy, thank you for that call. We have a station break coming up. So we're going to head off to a station break and come back and talk more with Emil. Emil, thank you. This is awesome.